Welcome back to VOR Classic with Joel, Mike, and Ed.
Ow, you spit in my eye.
You guys spitting you?
Asshole.
Right on. So where were we?
Palpatine.
wait.
And what makes him awesome?
Chapter 3. Look.
You know, I gotta say the one thing, the one of the creepiest things about Palpatine is
It's when he wore that red velvet thing and he looked like a big old fat ass.
Oh my
Yes,
God, he was like a
did.
big old
What was
gray.
he
What the
thinking
hell?
there?
What was that
girl,
thing?
Girl, no.
And those
Nay,
nails?
Fifi, not
Did he
even.
just, was he bloated with power? What was that?
Oh, yeah. I think that's what they were implying.
He pulled that from Padme's
Was
wardrobe.
it bad layering? Because he totally looked like a big old velvet cake.
You know, you know what I thought?
We should totally fucking make that a big old red velvet cake with a Palpatine head at the top.
Yeah, we'll get one of those inflatable sumo suits. And
I like
a
the
cake?
people that he would keep
A
around.
cake, like make a red velvet cake.
yeah, you're right. There needs to be a red velvet cake.
His entourage, the entourage from the original
From Return of the Jedi?
trilogy.
Okay, you know what I really,
Yes.
Those
really
guys are
dug about
great.
that? Is that like me and Mike Knapp sat around talking about this.
Yeah.
And that what I liked was that I thought of those as being Sith as well.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, or some kind
Like,
of
what is it that
mystical
they
bitches,
know?
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that they weren't necessarily, but they were definitely like Force adepts. They weren't necessarily like lightning shooters or lightsaber holders, but they
Right,
were
right.
definitely.
And that makes sense because they look as shitty as he does.
Yeah.
And one thing that they that gets implied with these films is Sith fucks you up. Sith will hurt you, whereas the Force, like, you're going with it and you're
Yeah.
using it, but it's also using you. There's a harmony, symbiosis, if you will. But with the Sith, when you use it, when you take from it, it takes from you, and it's just like it hurts your life. So I mean, I'm not talking about like coming out like the Marlboro Man. I'm talking about, you look like shit. You probably got health problems.
Yeah, and I've griped about this.
Your teeth fall to hell.
Yeah, you get
your
cookie
teeth look like
tooth.
shit.
That's why I have a problem with Mara Jade is that she just, she gets out of it unscathed.
Oh no. Sith women get hotter. That's the rule.
Apparently. Well,
Yeah.
but I mean, even like, by those rules, even people who have just like dipped into the Sith, aka like, Asajj Ventress,
Oh yeah.
she's still, chalk white skin. Like
Yeah.
like the deep circles or whatever. And I know that it was funny that Ed like really reacted badly to the Sith eyes originally.
Yeah.
In the commercial, whenever like Anakin, he's
yeah.
like, "What is that shit?" And I'm like, space fairies and elves, and like you have a problem with this now?
I know. I do have a problem with it because when does it come up? When you like do something really bad? When you like, I don't know, roll plus 10 Sith usage? Because
Yeah.
now you see him, now you don't. He doesn't have him the whole time.
I don't know. I kind of liked it because I felt as though he has the power to control what courses through him, and that's where he's just letting it go. And
see,
it's
that's
just-
the one thing
it's
that-
showing. When
Yeah,
you get pissed off, your face turns red, and this is just the Sith way of showing it.
I wish that his
I
eyes
guess.
changed permanently. Like whenever he made the twist and attacked the temple, I wish
Yeah.
that his eyes are like that from now on. And then they just kind of switched them around because really all we'd had to go on was Palpatine's eyes, from the original trilogy, which were weird, but they weren't necessarily red and.
No, they were like lighter. They were like almost a silver.
But all we had was Maul to go on.
Right.
Yeah.
So I kind of wish that like
That
the
could
one.
have just been a Zabrak trait.
Yeah. And so, like, until Anakin, that's all you assume. But
Right.
then we've got, like, a character that, as far as I know, the chick with the Tonfa laser swords in Force Unleashed, she has the Sith eyes.
She has Sith eyes. She's a Jedi, though.
Yeah. And, like, I don't like that terminology of, like, dark Jedi.
Oh,
Yeah, what
no.
the hell is that?
What the hell is that?
It's just this fan fiction subgenre.
That's like a dark
I'm a
elf,
dark
a droll
Jedi.
elf.
Yeah, it's just
lawful good vampire. Fuck you.
yeah. It's
Jews
like
for Jesus.
Yeah.
Rock
up-
stars rock against drugs.
You see,
what the
that's
hell
what-
is that?
that's what I kind of dig about like the Jedi is that it is.
That's great. Mike.
It's a slippery slope. It's a slippery slope that like once you start showing Sith traits, you are to be destroyed.
That's Yoda's message.
Yeah.
Once you start down the dark path, forever will it dominate your destiny.
And like they're like just out.
Word.
But I like that.
Word.
That the Jedi are like totally pacifist, but it's just like Sith. Fuck it, dude. Investigate that shit right now. I'm gonna sit.
Right.
Me and my pals are gonna sit right here. So you two go look for shit.
Yeah.
They haven't shown up in a millennia.
Yeah.
But you know what? You guys go do
Well,
stuff.
they didn't believe it. I
know,
that's
but,
the thing. They
it-
didn't believe it. They just thought, Qui-Gon's. It's Qui-Gon.
I fought a
Nobody
Sith.
took him seriously.
Are you drunk? I fought a Sith. How would you know? He wore black and had a red laser sword.
Riding a pink elephant? Was this Sith?
Good one.
Yeah.
Cottonmouth. Sorry, that came out more piggy than Yoda.
Well, it's the same guy.
I've got Cottonmouth. Kermit.
That's really freaky.
Hiya.
Oh my God. Yeah. What was I gonna say? I spaced. I lost it.
You had it.
Gone to the ages.
I think it's really funny that you mentioned about the real feminine Palpatine from the hair. Yeah, he was like an old woman.
Yeah, he was.
I thought that was great.
He was sort of foppish.
Because
and
he knew.
I liked it.
It was all planned. He
Right.
knew.
And one of the things that they go into in the books, which I didn't like this when I saw the movie, when they go to rescue Palpatine at the end of or at the beginning of episode 3, and he's just hanging out in a chair, and they're like, hey, Chancellor, and he's like, hey, Count Dooku, and he's just chill the whole time.
Yeah.
I mean, why is he that calm? That really bothers me.
A little too calm.
Right.
Well, but
then in the book, that's when it comes out where people were noticing that nothing seemed to get to him, and they didn't see it as fishy. They saw him as an irrepressible leader, where no matter what was reported or what he had to tell them or what happened, losses or wins in the war, he was steadfast.
Yeah.
And of course, it's easy when you
Yeah.
hold all the pieces.
And there
True,
was,
it is. But I had to be honest with you. That was the vibe I got from him. That Ian McDermott.
Yes, Ian
Yeah.
McDermott.
Ian McDermott. That's the vibe I got from him, is that he was that dignified and that together and that much of a leader, where nothing at all rattled him, and at all times he was always like, oh, but he's a Sith Lord. You know what I mean?
Right.
You can't beat him. He's a Sith Lord.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was good.
It wasn't even like he wasn't even projecting anything.
Yeah.
Just sort of sat there.
And
And it probably showed for the two Jedi coming to get him. It showed like his confidence in them.
Yeah.
Kind of a
there was a taste of it in the movie. There was just like a little bite, just a taste of it. But in the book, I really like that, Dooku and Palpatine are like joking before the two Jedi show up.
Okay.
And then he's
that's
like
right.
totally, like go, they're on their way. And so Dooku
Yeah.
hid to let the Jedi come up here.
Right.
But it's like, they had their fight, and then like Dooku drops to one knee, and they're talking about the Sith Lord, like trying to find out who the Sith Lord is. And so like I think there's even a line where Dooku goes, I want to turn over and give a wink to Palpatine, but I don't want to play my hand too soon. And that's when Palpatine goes, you've got to kill him. And there's like a beat of where like Dooku's
Wait,
like,
you're talking about when Anakin? Well, I was confused about what scene. You
yeah,
said you
Dooku
dropped
and
to a knee.
Dooku and Anakin were fighting.
Anakin, okay.
And like literally, it was like he has Dooku on the floor.
Yeah,
And
right.
they're like, tell me about the Sith Lord, and like give me all you got. Tell me what's going on.
Okay.
And so Dooku he says that he wanted to turn over there and wink at Palpatine.
Right.
Because he thought that Palpatine was just going to step in and
Yeah.
fuck
Right.
his shit up.
Yeah.
Right.
But
because probably to Dooku, he's the apprentice,
no, that was the plan.
so he's the chosen guy.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was the plan. Was just if we can't turn Anakin, we're gonna kill him right now. And so he was gonna turn to Palpatine, but he decided that'll be playing my hand too much.
Yeah.
But then Palpatine goes, Anakin, you must kill him. And then there's a beat, and like Dooku pretty much, for all intents and purposes, goes, fuck.
Right.
And he just realized that shit.
Yeah.
I'm not the apprentice. I just trained it.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
Yep.
I helped bring him more.
That
Yeah.
was great.
I just gave this guy one of his final trials.
To me, some of his best work was done in a chair.
Yeah.
And
Oh, yeah.
Even though it is very scripted, and he was trained to do it. In the episode 6,
Yeah. Just
The-
say
the-
say Return of the Jedi.
Return of the Jedi, he was so collected. Here he is. He senses his end. He senses the end. He
Yeah.
has to. But he's playing his cards close to his vest, and he's sitting there, and he's got young Skywalker in the room.
But
and
you might
the
see
the
it-
little cuts, like the back and forth cuts, and you'd think that Luke would have had him,
But I
being
think-
the swingy young kid.
Yeah.
But fucking Palpatine, just everything Luke ever said, like bam, right back on it with like your faith in your friends is yours.
Well, I think it's that
Yeah.
that's where we get into the shatter points and like the vectors of future knowledge.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
the only two outcomes that that Sidious had at that point was either I'm going to turn Luke, or if we can't turn Luke, Vader's going to kill him, and Vader's going to be that much closer to me by killing his own son.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
And you know
either
what?
way, we're winning.
Probably up to that point, before Vader actually turned, because Vader was still Sith,
Yeah.
full on Sith until Luke was kicking his ass.
Right.
And maybe Luke started to feel the good. I feel the good in you. He probably was, but it wasn't anything to really, move mountains. So to Palpatine, every time he sees Vader, he's got Vader.
Yeah,
Vader's
he's
his
got
boy.
it.
And
See,
so
I have a hard time believing that. I personally feel that Vader's whole goal was to, yes, take Luke on as his new apprentice, but I think it was supposed to be outside of the whole Sith arrangement. I felt like it wasn't a Sith agenda.
Well, I think it definitely, like, and even though we get a touch of it in Empire,
Yeah.
and we definitely get like a bigger taste of it, that he outright knows that, you know what, the only way that I'm going to be able to break Palpatine's grasp
Yeah.
is to have someone help me do it.
Yep.
And like, you know, like, so in a lot of ways, he's hoping that Luke will take him out, but he's the total unknown. That's why he's like keeps goading Luke. He knows that Luke's going to try to make a move. Go
Right.
on, strike me down.
Yeah.
You know, I know it. You know, and Luke's not going to make that move because
Right.
it's the unknown.
And he knows. I mean, but he knows. But it can. You know, but he probably still sees it going either way too.
Yeah.
You know, because, you know, Luke was skirting the line at that point because he gets his father back.
Yeah.
What does it take to get my father back? I want him back on my side, but it's starting to look like he's not coming back. So if he's not coming back, what do? Maybe I can just be with him, you know, because at least I'm with my father again. So I mean,
Yeah.
I guarantee there's a wanting there, of family that is coming to play and is helping him. So that way, when you add in Palpatine saying like, "What were you doing? Picking your nose? On your way to being the dark side." You know, everything he did, every little thing was like turned around, and it just made Luke angry. So it's like, oh yeah, you're angry. Yeah, dark side. You know, there's like he felt like there was like nothing I could do. I think at some point.
Like every little, he kept leaving dark side clues
Yeah.
every time he turned around.
Well, it's just like it echoes the Dooku thing. Like in a lot of ways, like Palpatine's even hoping at that point, hey, well, if he kills Vader, look who I got. And he's not like,
I guarantee
he's not
he sees the
95%
power
robot
in
either.
Luke. I guarantee he sees Luke's power.
and both of them.
And he gets a body that's complete.
Yeah.
He gets a kid with a body who's complete, who's already really strong, who's like probably as strong as Anakin was. You know, we just didn't see it physically, but
To continue this episode of VOR Classic, click the link on your screen now. Right now! If you like it, please click the thumb and share it with your friend. Now, let's continue the episode.